Welcome to Moonlight Madness. And so this is the reading I'm doing today for the sign of Earth. So Earth, Sun, Rising, Sun, Moon and Rising for the this week of 2021. And so the Moonlight Madness, and the decks I'm using are Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, Fairy Tarot decks. Then I've got the Enchanted map by Colette-Baron-Reid and the Wisdom of the Oracle Colette-Baron-Reid. And I've been using my crystals to kind of emphasize what each card that I've pulled out for today. So the Ten of Pentacles is the first card I pulled, and this is to do with your assets and your money and your earnings, or what your table looks like for Christmas. If it's filled up with, plums and berries and nuts and it's abundant, then it's pretty much saying, what are you bringing to my table? What worth do you have? And so your worth is from, I watched a show the other night about everyone bringing a couple of bottles of wine, food, nibbles, and it was all about how much it cost in order to make a statement that they've brought enough to the table to warrant a meal. So I guess that's what you're asking. Is everyone bringing enough to my table, or have I provided more than I should have in the past? So that's an earth sign for you. They're very careful with their money, their assets and their resources, and family traditions. They like to have dinner at Christmas, Christmas pudding and doing traditional things. It's to share your history as well. You need to maybe share your history with your family members who are younger than you. Embrace the positive and don't highlight the negative. Then you've got the Chariot card. So that could be leaning towards a brand new car. You might find that the car you've got is no longer able to work properly. And it's also about the driving force that you have. So you may have this unbelievable go-getting type of attitude. You might be 100, in your 90s, but you still have the drive of a 20-year-old. And I think that's what keeps you going, is because you have this mental focus that is quite driven, and you never waver. It doesn't matter what life throws at you, you just keep going. You keep going on that horse. And you steer it really well between the light and the darkness that's around you. You are being in the spotlight at the moment, and you may be coming from a self-disciplined stance. So someone may be wanting to invest in your brand or your business as you are starting to gain traction of a business and a huge following. Some of you may need to invest in a new car, or drawing attention to yourself without meaning to. The Ace of Wands in the past. I look at that like the beginning of the sapling. You plant the seed and you hope that it grows fruitful. And that's the hawthorn tree. So it's the hawthorn tree is to do with Christmas time as well. I've done the theme of Christmas. Something to do with Christmas. Things are going to come to fruition for you. That's what I'm getting. So in the past, a business idea, a blog or creative writing or creative field started as an idea. And maybe in the past you were always seen as the innovator for change and the one who came up with brilliant ideas unlike anyone else's. You may have come across as daring, fearless and possessing a lot of courage. It started with an idea and it quickly took off a life of its own. The recent path is the Death card. So that's to do with a recent death in the family, or just a death of life, or a death of an old way of doing things. Moving forward, freedom to change, transformation and reincarnation. Attachment to a painful past can either hold you back from being happy and successful, or you release it and deal with it with therapy and go forth in your new direction. Your future is bright and magical, or maybe an aspect of yourself had to die. Crowning you, the Four of Pentacles. This is to do with watching your pennies and not sure whether you should give out more than you should. You're watching your resources very well. Again, it's an Earth card. It's a Taurus energy there. So you may be a Taurus. There's an aspect of yourself here is maybe you're being a little bit too controlling with your money, your ideas, or excessive debt. You may feel you do not have enough resources. You have more than you know. Just manage them better and donate to the less fortunate. You are spending too freely or counting every penny so tight you don't enjoy it. Donate your time, your thoughts to a group who may need you as their sounding board. Even though you may not possibly work at the moment, you may be just an ear for someone who is struggling with their mental health because of what's going on in the world and with the pandemic. Eight of coin. Again, the coin card, so it's again to do with earth and resources. That's to do with study in the future. Time to regain or return to school or get more training. Going back to college or gain a skill as an apprentice or provide instruction like a mentor. If you'd like to change careers, go for it. The law of attraction returns that energy to you in the form of money or opportunities. And then I've got these two beautiful crystals from Rainbow Runner. This is my intuitive lapis to help heighten intuition. And I've got this one as the crystal, which is clear thought. So the High Priestess represent, at the moment, you may be very intuitive right now. That represents like a spiritual leader or a High Priestess that has knowledge of things they possibly shouldn't have knowledge of, but very intuitive at the moment. So you're coming up as very intuitive, and making plans for further study or your spiritual gifts, keeping your strategies to yourself for now, and spending time in meditation, going for long walks in nature. Your body will pick up on situations and people. You are very intuitive right now. So that's your power, your superpower. And then you've got the effects of people around you, and I've picked up the King of Cups. There he is. So this is representing a water sign that's around you. That's Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. They are shown as, if the effect of people around you, they are a very sensitive, romantic partner, or you're someone who you can trust, who gives excellent advice from the heart. They'll quietly listen to all your hopes and fears and provide astonishing insights that could prove invaluable. A rich inner life from studying spirituality and humanitarian causes. They are honourable and they are chivalrous, and they show high integrity in relationships. They come off a little intense sometimes, but they've been through a hell of a lot. They may be very overprotective of you, like a well-meaning dad who checks up on you like you're still 7. They're fierce protectors or friends of family, and as well as friends, and they may be in charge of a cultural thing like the art exhibition or the art gallery, where they're at the head of people that organise events for the art exhibitions, or they actually may have an interest in doing their own work. They may be creative fields, they may be painters as well, or watercolour experts. Hopes and fears. Okay, so you've got social situations, love letters, and a brand new friend. This is this one here. So this is like the younger child, which is, they're not yet fully formed. They're not yet the Queen of Cups. They're the Princess of Cups. So there's a Princess of Cups around you who is, they love to write love letters. They are a special new friend. They're interpreting dreams. They're a gentle and sensitive soul. And she or he is very interested in relationships with others. People, but can be extremely painfully shy. They're poetic and a fondness for journaling everything they feel. They daydream a lot, and they will listen to all your fears and tears and perceives everything through their feelings, like retreating to a small garden. They wait for love to come. And the outcome you've got at the top of the card, which I've put the crystal, which is gorgeous. It's amethyst. I've had this for about 10 years. And that's to do with an Aquarian energy. So you may be bringing through an Aquarian in your future, and they are shown to be, this card represents the Libra, Aquarius, or Gemini energy. We don't have any 2s or 2 of Cups in the spread, so I'm beginning to think that's more of an Aquarian energy. They are a little bit blunt. They say what they mean. They could be a lawyer, a law enforcement, a judge, a politician. They're strong, they're self-sufficient, they're funny. They're usually unmarried or divorced, and they are focused on career. They're wise and knowing friend, perfectionist, and they are experienced a lifetime of heartbreak and have grown stronger in the process. They're hysterically funny. Their vast, diverse experiences released them long ago of people that brought them more drama to their lives than joy, wit, and intelligence, and can put you in your place without you even being aware. And then I'm going to draw a clarifying card, I guess you'd call it. This is from the deck of Colette-Baron-Reid, the Enchanted map. I like these cards because the map reminds me of a holiday. My son used to go and visit his dad's then girlfriend or fiance, and they used to do map making exercises on the weekends, and he'd come back and he'd show me this really cool map, and that was their favourite thing. You used to use tea, you'd soak the paper in tea, and then you'd have to burn around the edges to make it look like a treasure map. And then so she'd send them on a treasure hunt to go and get some things, and that was the fun thing that they did together. I can remember those were fun days when they were still babies. They were still only 9 and 7, I think, at the time, and I was, young and fun, and we used to do lots of stuff like that in school holidays as well. I used to do lots of art projects with them. My eldest son today is he's 22 today. He's a little Libran, and he's mum's special boy. He's doing it really well. He's going out for his birthday. I've called him already, and I tend to call him up a lot and give him little words of advice and encouragement. And speaking about him, I've brought the law of attraction, which is the encouragement. I always encourage him to do as well as he can do. I'm not one of those mums that comes down on him if he's, he's worried about something and he thinks he screwed it up. I'm the exact opposite. I will point out all the good things he does and all the wonderful things he's accomplished and try to focus on the positives rather than the negatives with him. And he then, in turn, I think has a better grasp on things, and it's just a support network, a little bit of support I give him, because he's like me, he's highly sensitive as well. And so I'm highly sensitive, and so is my youngest son. He's highly sensitive. So we're very sensitive people, and we all pick up on each other's energy, which is kind of cute, really. It's cute that we're so in tune with each other. I'll think about him and he'll call, or he'll think about me and he'll call, or vice versa. We just kind of pick up on each other's energy. Oh, and then I've got transformation. Oh, this is a beautiful card. Metamorphosis. I love this. This is like the butterfly that's come from the cocoon and is becoming a butterfly. And that's actually one of my symbols that I relate to. Whenever there's a butterfly around, I used to get told, my mum used to tell me, that's my grandmother around me, because I have an affinity with butterflies. I have ever since I was a young girl. My auntie used to carry a keychain with the I think it was Dunk Island, which was the butterfly, and it's a monarch. So it's like the monarch used to release these butterflies. They go on their what do they call it? They come alive in February, which is why the Aquarians have the butterflies symbols on the top of the sword, because the butterfly is thought, and air is all about thought and communication, and we're constantly receiving and interpreting communication from spirit. So I got a tattoo on my ankle when I was 19, and one somewhere else when I was 21, and they're both butterflies. One is purple and one is red. So yeah, butterflies are a sign of Aquarian energy around you. So that's, and the butterflies also to do with the spirit world. So if you find feathers and you see butterflies, it's usually the spirit, someone who's passed over trying to talk to you or get through a message or information via communication. And that's that card there. And so the encouragement card is 54 in the deck. And these are fairly new decks that I don't work with lots, but I kind of remember what they mean. But I'm just going to make sure. I think it's just basically what I said, transforming a situation from what it was to something better. But the encouragement card is you're receiving a nudge in the right direction. This card tells you you're being gently encouraged to step into your power, into the dream of your life. New things are out there to be explored, and the nurturing power of the universe is giving you a nudge in the right direction. You will get the help you need, and you won't be alone in your quest. Every step you take right now is supported by the wisdom of the universe. You are on the right path. Keep going. So that's good to know. It's good to be told that you're doing a good job. I think if anyone needs to hear that you've done well or you're appreciated, just a little bit of appreciation doesn't go very far. A word of encouragement does not go, just a little bit helps to push someone if their confidence is low to buoy them up to achieve great heights. Butterflies can earn the wings through great effort. The process of change is often painful because it's never without losses and sacrifices. If you are to transform from one form to another, a part of you needs to die, which was what we're talking about here, the death of a situation. Or a death of a person. And letting go isn't easy, especially when you're thinking a certain way about your life and how you should live it. Just as a snake sheds its dead skin or a caterpillar dies so that a butterfly can be born, you're required to release old ideas and embrace a necessary change so you can live your very best life. Perhaps you're being asked to let go of low self-worth, a dream that no longer serves you, a relationship that is draining, or unhealthy habits. Despite your fear, you must accept that this is a transformational time for you. There will be some loss involved, but you'll love what you've become. So yeah, painful experiences teach us lessons, and I've been taught many in my life. But one thing that I've kept is the cards. What I'm doing right now has been a part of my life since I was like 13. I've been doing tarot card readings and getting interpretations since I was 13. But before that I had a psychic ability from the age of 2, and I would see things and I would go sleepwalking. And I do that still sometimes if something's worrying me. I was woken up at 3 o'clock this morning. I couldn't figure out what that was about. And I went back to bed, and apparently there was a tsunami warning. There'd been an earthquake in Japan that was quite sizable. And that was at 7 o'clock that happened this morning. So I kind of pick up on big shifts of energy. Usually it's a tsunami or an earthquake or I just get like anything to do with the earth, massive thunderstorms, fire, earthquakes. I usually feel them. I used to be living in Brisbane, and I was in a shopping centre one day, and I swore that the floor started to move beneath my feet. I could feel like, like a giant shudder. And I said to my son at the time, we were at JB Hi-Fi, I said, did you feel that? He said, what? I said, that, like an earthquake, like a shake, like the ground was moving. He's like, no, you're imagining it, Mum, you're just imagining it. And then within 2 days there was an earthquake that was quite massive. I can't remember where it was, but it was quite a big one. I think it might have been in South America, and I picked up on that energy. So, I'm a walking earthquake detector, which is good, I guess, in some ways, but not good for other people when they hear me sneaking around the house at 3 and 4 in the morning, because I've been woken to something like that, or woken up with a fright because I've seen something that was going to happen for a future event for my son or for my mum. Her car, I've seen her car having an issue, and I said to my son, how's Nan's car? And he said, not going very well. I said, I know, I've sensed it. The door's not working. There's something to do with the door. It needs to be fixed, or the locking mechanism is really bad and the door's going to fall off. There's something to do with the left side of the car, which I'm picking up. There's something wrong with the car. And so, I told him to pass that image or message on to her for me, because she does know I get stuff strong all the time when it comes to family members and things. And being in a car can represent your vehicle, your body. So if your body's not well and you have a missing door, there can be a missing side of your body that's not working properly as well. So it can also represent you and who you let in your life. And if you are in the car with, I guess, your mum or your brother or your son, then that's kind of who's on your team or on your side. I guess that's how I look at it. So that's what I was seeing. I'm just shuffling to get that wanted to come up, but I'll keep going. This is the Wisdom of the Oracle. I like this deck because it reminds me of Lifeline when I used to work for them. And the cards got bunting, which is like, when you go to a birthday party and they've got the streamers up and the little, tags. Well, that's what this reminds me of, because some of the cards have those on them. They're like those little flags. Oh, I got Treasure Island. This is a really good card to get. This is to do with water, and we picked up water before. So we've got 2 water signs around the earth sign at the moment. One could be a Scorpion, Pisces, or Scorpio, Pisces, or Cancer around an earth sign. One older and one younger. Because they're shown by the princess being the younger one and the king being the elder one. And one of my favourite singers turned 73 2 days ago. She's also Libran. Olivia Newton-John, my favourite singer. As I keep growing up, I used to watch Xanadu, and I used to go roller skating all around where I lived, in the flats that I lived in. That's a good card. That's mending fences. So maybe you're mending a relationship, earth sign, or you're trying to mend your relationship. So that's to do with 52. Apparently we're in Mercury retrograde at the moment, and we've had a few things going in this house. Like, I've had my PowerPoint go on and off. Doesn't work some days, and other days it does. And then in the kitchen, the fridge died, and then we had to, the lady and I had to clean. Well, she cleaned it out, and I cleaned all the stuff out of it because I had my COVID shot and I've been sick for days from it. But yeah, all these electrical issues have been going on, and I think it's to do with the Mercury retrograde. So the last time we had a Mercury retrograde, this is going back in 2019, the entire left side of the building went out. We had no power because a car had careened around the corner along Maitland Road, I should say, and it ran into a power pole and almost hit the front window or front house where I was living, which was a gated community. And I had woken up with a nightmare. My son had said to me, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, "Mom, get out of bed. Mom, get up." And I'm thinking, shoot, what's that about? So I got up, I got up and I raced outside, and all I could hear was these sirens. And before that, I'd seen my son. I thought it was my son, or 2 or 3 people in the back seat of a car, And I said to my son, you have to get in the middle, don't get in the front, because if you get in the front, you won't be here to see tomorrow. And that's when he woke up screaming, and I woke up hearing him say, Mum, get out, get up, get up. And so this car who careened into the side of our building had 3 people in it. The girl that was driving was the sister, and the 2 brothers and the uncle were in the back. And the only reason that they survived is because whoever was meant to sit in the front was sitting in the back, like I'd asked one of them to. And they went, and they survived. They miraculously survived, but I'd seen it in a vision. So I was aware that something was coming to my building, but I just didn't realise it was to do with anything to do with my family, but it was to do with these people. So I can remember reaching in and trying to put my body in front of the side door of where it would have impacted on that kid in the back. I remember doing that because I was astral travelling into this car. And that's, I'm hoping I stopped that, because I put I was a human shield in there. My astral body was a human shield. It was just a far out thing. I've told a few people at the Granary, that's a church that I go to buy food, and they give, food to homeless people and cheaper groceries. And I was telling them, and they were like, oh wow. And they couldn't believe it, because everyone had heard about it, because it was such a big event that the entire Mayfield grid went down like we had recently. So yeah, Mercury retrograde is no thing to sneeze at, absolutely not. So we've got mending, 52. Okay. No, I've got the wrong book. That's the wrong one. That's why I can't find it. It's in this one. 52. Alright, so each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding, and integration, I think this is relating to the death card, without understanding, and we accumulate unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to the very things we are trying to heal. The pain, the memories, the echoes of the past, and the resentments and the arguments we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make amends to others, to set yourself free. You've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary if you're to move forward. Separate or together, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love to? Only good will come of forgiveness and an honest redress. So it's saying that, everyone makes mistakes, and when you want something really badly, you may come to realise that chasing after that shiny penny, you lost sight of the long-term sustainable prosperity. Sometimes you make choices that look good at first, but ultimately lead to extreme loss or failure. It's time to forgive others, yourself, and don't blame anyone. You get to start again, wiser and more mature. The journey to your true abundance can be bumpy. The journey through, make amends to anyone who you may have hurt along the way, especially yourself. Forgive those who may have taken advantage of you. Let go and learn from this. You are now that much closer to achieving the kind of prosperity that really fulfills you. Nothing is ever lost or wasted when you do it from this perspective. Yeah, and it's talking about grief and heartbreak, and it strips away our masks and loosens our tight hold on our separateness. We view ourselves as I and the world as it. Loss allows us to see ourselves as a part of a larger scheme, opening up to sympathy, empathy, and dependence on others in the moment when we can't hold ourselves together, and it leads us to become one with a greater whole again. Pain and suffering is part of life, and none of us will be immune to it. Can you view this loss, this pain, this dissonance as a way back to source? Let your sorrow break your heart wide open. You will never be left behind. You are loved now more than ever by Spirit, who does not want you to feel alone. One day you will look back and know this truth. So yeah, grief is not a fun thing for anyone. Loss of a parent, loss of family, loss of assets, furniture, job. I think everyone's going through this grieving process. So I'm picking up on not just one earth sign, but probably a collective of earth signs. And we've got this card, which is number 9, Treasure Island. I like the card because it's got a picture of water, and anything to do with water signs, that usually comes up with it. Law of attraction. 9. The law of attractions bringing dreams into fruition, the result of positive thinking made manifest abundance. You've worked hard and acted upon your unwavering belief in abundance, and suddenly, in the midst of it all, you hit the jackpot. You may have uncovered the map, again, law of attraction, the map, to buried treasure and tap the unlimited potential within you. What you must hone now is your ability to recognise when X marks the spot, because some of the golden opportunities may be obvious, but others may not be so readily apparent. Trust your intuition to light your way now, and as you enter the truly prosperous phase, where all the long, hard work navigating your inner life is now paying off externally. In all aspects of your life at this time, you have good fortune. Don't forget to enjoy it and share it with others, as treasure shared multiplies like magic. Your relationship is a treasure, providing even more than you need, but you may not see that right now. No matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourself and each other. Now is a time for discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. So it's that this time you can be confident that success is yours. Your ideas are all hitting the mark, and you're in true manifesting, like the Ace of Spring, you're manifesting all these wonderful things from way back then. And it's the seed of prosperity you've planted in the past now appears as all these opportunities, and a line with concrete signs of prosperity in the world of form. This is a very auspicious and fortunate time for business. Creative projects will flourish as inspiration strikes. Share your wealth and with others too. Generosity and gratitude should lead you now. Oh, that's really nice. That's a nice circle of life where you buy food for the people that live here, like vegetables and that, just for everyone to have cheaper vegetables so we can all save money. And it's just a nice thing to do, and then someone will buy bread, and so we kind of all chip in together, and that's kind of a nice way to have a household where everyone helps each other. Someone cleaned the fridge out the other day because I was too sick, so I got up today and made sure I cleaned what I was going to do before I got the shot. So yeah, when I say I'm going to do something, I usually follow through on it 100%, unless something like I get the shot and didn't realise I was going to get sick. I'm not a person to half do anything, half bake anything. If I'm going to do something, I do it with all 100% or not at all. So I'm still learning on how to do this channel, and it's, I'm doing the best I can with what equipment I've got and what I've got access to because of the pandemic. But I'm hoping to learn on how to make this a sideline business, and I've been watching other people online and other readers, and they seem to know how to work Zoom and Duo. So I'm going to see if I don't put up on my Facebook account that if you want to get a personal reading, you just have to message me, and then I can write my details of my bank account and make it the channel work that way. So I can buy equipment. Like I need to buy new cards because my cards I've well loved cards. They're starting to fall apart at the edges, so that'd be nice. Even if someone donates me a deck of cards, that would be great, because then I know that I can keep doing this without really having to outlay a huge amount of money, which is why I decided to do this back 3 years ago when the first pandemic hit. I just started out as a blog, and now I've made it into a 3D. So this is kind of new for me, and I'm still learning. I'm going to try and get hold of people that do websites. I think they call them Teal. See if they can help me with platforms and setting things up like this, because I don't know how to do it myself. So yeah, coming out of lockdown and pandemic will be so good for a lot of people in so many ways. And I think that's what I'm seeing the metamorphosis, because we've all been stuck inside into this, this lockdown, and people are suffering because they're doing shock jock news like CNN and Fox, and doing constant updates and scaring the kids that are at home, who were like, well, what do I even bother trying? Like, if we're in lockdown and I'm doing really badly, then it's because of lockdown. You can't control those things, because lockdown is something we can't control. But what we can control is how much shock jock news we put on television to make us all fearful and scared. Fear is not what we need right now. We need understanding. We don't need hate and fear. We need people to come together and rally together and, support one another and not scare half the children to death of the news. They did it back when I was at school myself. They had Ronald Reagan and the threat of the red button. We don't need that kind of media. And if we do give updates, give it at a time that we know children are not going to be around. Like the late night news, broadcast it then or something. I don't know. But so it's not so impacting on people's mental health. I'm sure Lifeline is run like so many people they can't get to because their phone lines are jammed. So, the next best thing I've got is I call Lifeline, and then I give advice from what Lifeline is trying to give me advice for, and then I can help other people with. But everyone is struggling. I don't care who you are, what age you are. We don't need negative news. That's all I have to say on that. I think we just need to think about your audience and your target audience and who you want to impact, yes, and make aware of, but don't scare them half to death. Anyway, thank you.